Hello, hello, and welcome to Awaken Your Human Design. My name is Moni. This is Danny. And for the week of September 14th through the 20th, the sun is in gate 6 and the earth in gate 36.
Just when you thought we had enough of 6 and 36, one more time, a little encore presentation.
Yeah, a little bit more crisis and impact. We didn't get enough of it with the nodes.
Indeed.
Thank you to everyone who is watching and liking, commenting, subscribing. We love having you. Let's get into it. Here we have our mandala body graph, and we can see the sun in gate 6, which is friction. It's a solar plexus gate, and the earth in gate 36, which is crisis, and it's also a solar plexus gate.
Sort of like the storm before the calm. In a way, I mean, we're about to move into, right? We're about to move into 46 and 25.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. As soon as you said it, I was like, yeah, Danny, right on.
Yep. So, I mean, that's why we love looking at it in the form of the wheel, right?
So here we have the sun in gate 6, which is conflict and friction, the fundamental component of progress, the law that growth cannot exist without friction. Gate 6 is a solar plexus gate, part of tribal circuitry, so support is our keynote, and it's part of the defense circuit specifically. Gate 6 hooks up with gate 59, which is dispersion, and the 59-6 make up the channel of mating. Gate 6 generates all three modes of emotional awareness: feelings, moods, and sensitivity. And it's designed to create friction. It's producing the heat essential for growth and fertility. Even stepping into another's aura creates friction. And if and when conflict is resolved and a resonance is reached, there's an opening and intimacy can proceed. Gate 6 acts as a diaphragm that's open to intimacy or closed off to it.
This is just such a perfect description. I could literally just leave it there. It's literally a perfect description of the mechanical aspect of what gate 6 is doing. That friction is actually important. What line is it? The 64, is it, or 47? Birth determination for the passage through. This creates the determination for the passage through by creating friction. Otherwise, we wouldn't even be able to feel that we were in anything. We wouldn't be able to, you couldn't feel it. Nothing would get molded and turned a particular way. That friction is there like a pair of, locking brakes to stop the thing from coming in. Gate 6 is also the pH of our body. It will sour towards anything it needs to sour towards in order to not let it in. This is a way of not letting something in. It's a way, and of course it is, because gate 59 is specifically the way of getting in. I mean, it's so you couldn't get a more better matched binary.
It's like knock, 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 and 6 is like, no, I'm not letting you in.
Maybe.
Yeah.
No, yes. Right,
Yeah.
right. And by the way, open to intimacy means ultimately wildly open to intimacy. And babies can finally get made. And all intimacy is one of the formations of the tribal bond. This is a tribal circuitry, and it's called the defense circuit for a reason. It defends life on this planet, both by making more and creating a bond through intimacy. I mean, you need bonds for the tribe to live. The unbonded tribe flies apart. And, life is the tribes. It's not the collective. It's definitely not the individual. It's the individual by accident, like sometimes. It's the collective if they, no, it's just not the collective. Definitely not integration. It's the tribe. So it defends everything, and gate 6 truly defends the basic tenor and the sweetness or not of what the bond will be. It's in the emotional solar plex, after all. This is where the sweetness of the bond comes out and is able to be felt and seen through the individual lens and seen through the tribal wave of emotions as well. So you need friction. The thing is, it's emotional, and so it's seen as friction plenty of times, and conflict. These are the keynotes for this gate: friction and conflict. So it creates what feels like the very emotional conflict that is the keynote of its not self, avoiding conflict and truth, for an open, solar plex center. So it's got the perfect name. It does create the conflict, but it's the not self conflict, and it only appears that way. Thing is, when it's mixed up with the other gate, which we'll read in a minute, it sure seems like a lot. And it is the cross of Eden after all. So
Here we have the Earth in gate 36, which is the darkening of the light and the gate of crisis. The rule of cycles in which decline is a natural but not an enduring stage. Gate 36 is a solar plexus gate, part of collective circuitry, so sharing is our keynote, and it's part of the sensing circuit specifically. Gate 36 hooks up with gate 35, which is progress, and the 36-35 make up the channel of transitoriness. The fears of vulnerability and inexperience, both emotional and sexual, are resolved and transformed into experience, where you create and meet challenges of change and growth through emotional crises and gain emotional clarity over time and learn to handle the crisis. This is a hope to pain wave driving human experience towards change.
Change for change's sake.
Because it's gotta just change and you're gonna need a new experience.
It's the blind hunger chasing the experience at times, and it's supposed to be that. And the thing is, as we become aware of what this does, it's the type of thing where, you know, you have things to protect you on you have guardrails on it. You know, as you start to wake up to your nature, you see that without it, there are no guardrails on this whole process. And it seems like such a conflict because the inexperience seems untenable. It's an emotional wave. It's called a crash wave. It's got a particular way where it climbs all the way up, and that's the good part, and then it crashes all the way down. That's the bad part. So it really is the roller coaster. This one is the roller coaster. Up and down it goes, and it never actually stops. So when inexperience, if it were on the splenic side, is like, well, you know, let's look into that and let's not jump into anything we don't know enough yet. It's not logical. But here we are on the experiential side. This is tuned in with the abstract channels coming down off of the head center. Very much part of this process. All of that is. It's in tune to maturation, which says you saw it, you're inexperienced at it, but maturation says you started, you looked at it, you can't stop now. It's formatted by you can't stop now, you got to bring it all the way through. It's almost as if 36 would be like, well, I'd like to quit now, but its format says, hey, good luck. And it makes it move all the way through, and gate 35 makes it move all the way through. It's afraid, and then it's not. It's afraid, and then it's not. Its fear is inadequacy, by the way. It's afraid of that, and it's got this nervousness that becomes so emotionally toxic at times that it pollutes the whole environment or it raises it up. And when you mix it with conflict of 6, that creates this friction. It's almost like a fighter in a way, but it's not willing, like the 38 and the 39. 38 and 39 will come out swinging on purpose. This one is dragged into it, not necessarily willingly, and it feels palpable. I'm inexperienced at, does this other person love me? Oh my God, it's a crisis, like hard, and that person might drive the other away because of the not knowing and the emotional nervousness with all of that going on, and plenty of other things, all kinds of things. Up and down goes 30. It's not quite sure why. And if a person who becomes aware of it and really starts to see it, it changes from crisis to, hey, I just don't know enough yet. I'm a little nervous about that. And it's not the same crisis anymore. It's a very same chemistry, but no longer the same crisis. Go figure. You get there by witnessing it in your life if you have gate 36 or if you're on this cross.
Gate 36 also has that like sense of boredom to it. It's like so chasing the experience of something that it's like bored until it gets to have that experience.
Yeah, and that actually makes sense, Moni, because that leads into why it's always been there, done that. You know, change for change's sake. Once you've done it, you don't have to keep doing it again necessarily.
Yeah, you just needed the experience.
Right. You can see why this is also a very sexual channel, because half of all human experience is that.
And so you're like, well, I did that thing. Neat.
Yep.
I'm done with that. I don't need to try that again.
Right, exactly. And then the nervousness moving into it. What's it going to be like? What's all the stuff, what might go wrong? As soon as mind gets a hold of this with abstraction, and what if and what if and what if and oh my God, aligned with probabilities and possibilities. It's just forget it. So yeah, very much a crisis. It makes Eden feel like a crisis. And you've got gate 12 and gate 11 looking right at it, because they're the other side of this. So
Yeah, and I
12,
like this.
yeah, 12 feels like it has to do something about it, and 11 needs to freaking tell the rest of the story about it. It needs to like flesh it out into something of meaning that it doesn't want to fall into the darkness.
Just really love this line of the rule of cycles in which decline is a natural but not an enduring stage, where it's like stuff declines. It just happens. It's part of this program that we're in. It's just kind of the nature of it. And when you're in it, like when we were in the nodes, we had the 6 and the 36 in the nodes earlier this year. And like there was some crazy stuff. That's like planes were falling out of the sky, kind of crazy. Like when all of that was going on, like that's when those nodes were in like 6 and 36. And it can be really shocking and crazy and like crisis, and it's the darkening of the light. It's like these really heavy kind of terms, and it can be very like jarring and like, oh my God, the sky is falling, right? Like it's so bad, it's so bad. But it's like, remember that end of this line where it's like decline is natural but it's not enduring. Like it's
It
not going to
can't
last
endure.
forever. Yeah, like you're not just going to have crazy chaos, friction, chaos
A
all the
genetic
time.
certainty creates chemistry to make sure it physically doesn't endure, just like you got a cut and the bleeding does not endure, it stops.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's a really important thing to remember, because this can be a kind of crazy energy or scary energy or just like, Jesus, again, like, does this always happen to me? It's like those types of things can be very overwhelming. So just remember that there's this rule of cycles. It's in our programming. Decline is a natural but not an enduring stage. Like things will decline and then the decline will end and the sun will come out again. Like the sky will be bright again. Like it will get okay.
By the way, the ending is back into the up feeling that you think you want to live in. That's what the ending is. And if you read the first line of 36, decline is a thing, but it doesn't endure. That's the life process of the first line, where it says, you become wise with that. So there's a life process with it, as I recall. And then the line itself is just, hey, in one way, you have the emotional resilience to deal with what feels like a decline and crisis. So you sort of sit with it. That's the exaltation, and detriment is you don't sit with it, and you're Chicken Little with your hair on fire.
So, line one, resistance, the
Yep.
energy and determination to persevere in the face of opposition, the emotional power to handle crisis.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah, no, it
right.
was great. You did so good. I love how you did it. And then I love your Chicken Little because it's so true. Because in the detriment, it's an over principled resistance that, rather than being selective in resistance and thus less at risk, will maintain normal patterns and incur opposition. A resistance to change that will always bring crisis. So I love your.
Always been crisis, right? The resistance to change, because change is on the other side. We manifest not oldness, we manifest newness. Right? We don't manifest oldness, and the throat is where we manifest. This is a manifesting channel. So it really is quite complete when we just put it all that way and you see what's it looking at, what's it facing, what are the things we're doing here. You can see why this then becomes very crisisy when it sits here as a transit. It's going to be in everyone's life. It's going to be the sense of that. We've lived it in the nodes forever. It was in outer planets for years. We have had 36 at least, never mind 36 and 6, but we've had gate 36 somewhere in a planetary transit and or through the nodes for almost the past 4.5 years. Is that about right?
Yeah,
Somewhere.
yeah.
Yep.
Neptune was hanging out in there, back and forth and stuff. So
It
yeah,
just right, and then Saturn got there, and then it was nodes got there, and then it's just for some reason we've been very 36y for the past half decade almost. This is the end of it, as I'm aware.
next up, we have our incarnation crosses for the week. First up, we have the right angle cross of Eden, which adds the 12 and the 11 to the 6 and the 36 we've been discussing. People who use their experience with conflict and crisis to hold the bond of intimacy together, gaining experience through the loss of innocence. Then we'll move into the juxtaposition cross of conflict, which adds the 15 and the 10. People who bridge the loss of innocence with a getting on with life attitude and create a fertile environment for companionship, friendship, and love emerging from crisis. Finally, we'll move into the left angle across the plane, which also adds the 15 and the 10. People here to enjoy their work while enticing us deeply in the material plane so that we will always have what we need to love living in the social material world.
It's important to notice this movement towards the material plane after we got kicked out of the garden, thrown into Eden is the thing. And so here we are, we pick up the capacity to truly teach 11 and 12. I mean, 45 is a teaching gate for the tribe, but it's more of an instruction gate where you get your instructions, more so. But these two truly articulate and bring forth the rest of the story, which is teaching. It's so this is where you get, the fourth lines of these things, in fact, are the prophet and the teacher. So Eden is all about getting kicked out of the garden, the loss of innocence. And the thing is, it's funny because the loss of innocence, as far as the nodes go, leaves gate 25 and moves into this. But those are just the nodes. All the rest of it is, it loses its innocence and then it is reminded as we move back into the vessel. That's the movement here. Did it really lose its innocence, or did it just, the loss of innocence is just finding out things don't work. Things, and expectations don't get met. And the clinging fire of 30 in this very same stream must cling, and sometimes that fire burns it and it don't get the thing. 36 is the same way. Sometimes it just doesn't get the experience. And the loss of innocence is innocently you expected it. And this is the great teacher about expectations. You can't always get what you want, literally. And so it teaches us that. And in the teaching of that, gate 6 cleans up and allows in the right intimacy. And that's really what's going on here. This is the teacher that teaches us how to start getting together the right way to make the right babies, amongst other things. But that's one of the things this teacher teaches us. It also teaches us, what is this experience we're after? Is it worth it? And I do have the capacity to simply endure, as is the foundation of 36, and be within the emotional turmoil that really isn't emotional turmoil. It's just an experience. So ultimately, this thing is meant to smooth out, and that loss of innocence is really just meant to be seen as, I found out that not all my expectations are met. I mean, it's literally the baby-like loss of innocence. It's not all about me and me putting my fist in my mouth and my foot in my mouth because I can. It's not all about me, that's the loss of a baby's innocence at some point. And same thing here. When it moves into 10 and 15 as the other arm of the vessel, which we're about to move into, I mean, this is pretty cool as it relates to conflict, because that's the name of the gate. It always gets the name of the gate. But the thing is, the conflict is, I love me. It's not your fault. I love you, but I love me more. It heals. It does heal, ultimately. When 15 and 10 are on the other side of this, it becomes healing, just so you know. And prevention, healing and prevention come through here, and 46 and then 25. But so this juxtaposition is how to deal with the conflict in its extremes and how to behave. Eden taught us, okay, it teaches us, but 12 and 11 leave, and 10 and 15 show up. And what it teaches us is how to deal. And once we finally figured out how to deal, we can get about the sophisticated version of stuff, to enjoy their work and get the job right and get the material plane right. You would think 21 is to get the material plane right. It is, but this is to basically solidify that through an important, powerful feeling. And the feeling is about the progress made. And the progress made in this case is everyone's material way is good, so that everything can basically move towards more beauty, ultimately, like the master keynote demands. So moving along the plane is people here to enjoy their work while enticing us. What's this enticing us? 36 and 35, when the whole channel's there, or just 36 it's there to be shared. So it entices everyone else to come along, which is perfect because it needs gate 15 to deal with all of those extremes in a nice, cool, level way. The vessel gates are cool. They maintain themselves. And so this just works perfectly together. And then we move into innocence. Everything here is about the loss of innocence. It's a fake. That's part of the point. We didn't lose, we gained. And finding out what didn't work, a very third line process, but it describes very much this whole channel of experientialness. It finds out what didn't work, finds out that expectations couldn't get met. And that feels like a loss of innocence. And it leads to intelligence on the material plane, because the material plane is aware we're about to move into, we didn't lose our innocence. Our innocence was well intact. This is just a flaming, emotional, motorized process of a wave that we simply need to get a hold of. And we will. Basically, this whole incarnation cross language will change, yet it'll be the exact same process.
Finally, we have our hexagrams for the week. First up, we have the sun in gate 6, which is impact. And in my I Ching book, it reads as arguing.
Impact.
Yeah, impact, but arguing in my book. So the trigrams are heaven over water. The image reads, heaven joins with stream, contradictory movements, arguing. A noble one, starting work, plans begin. Water flows downhill away from heaven. Your inner momentum diverges from the immutable laws, pulled away by the flow of emotion. You're in dispute with how it is. The dissenting impulse inspires you to start work and take action. Arguing makes for much better beginnings than endings. In order to direct the inner momentum intelligently without worsening the conflict, a noble one thinks of heaven joining with the stream. He plans from the outset how to bring the emotional currents of commitment back into accord with absolute principles.
What you just read there is, again, the foundation of line 1. The foundational line 1 we read at the beginning of this hexagram when we were talking about it. Basically the emotional steadiness to endure conflict, knowing it's the conflict itself will not endure. I mean, it's easy to endure something that you know will not endure, is the thing. Oh no, don't worry, there's an end to this. You know, it's like I smashed my thumb with a hammer. I will endure this. It's going to stop throbbing soon. You know, it's same thing here. And so that's the impact. The impact is, it feels like we smash, but instead we smash, and it's okay. Same thing. I keep saying it's the same thing. It is the same exact thing. One gets to be enjoyed and one is a giant mess. And heaven over water seems like heaven basically helps fix the water, and the water helps flow the heaven. And those two things were supposed to happen ultimately in the first place. But 6 just didn't get the memo up front, you know, and 36 didn't either.
Continuing on to the Earth in gate 36, which is crisis, and in my I Ching book reads as brightness hidden. The darkening before the light. So it's
brightness hidden?
Hidden brightness hidden.
Yes.
The darkening before the light. I don't know. I have so much fun with comparing.
Those go together.
With it. Yeah, exactly. So the trigrams are earth over fire. The image reads, brightness enters the earth's center, brightness hidden. A noble one, overseeing the crowds, uses both dark and bright. Light enters the earth's center at night. The sun will rise again in the morning. The darkness is simply part of a natural cycle. The noble one understands and uses it as such. Light balanced with darkness, insight with acceptance. There is no need to let the full glare of your insight shine forth all the time, or try to force your understanding on those who might not want it. Ooh.
This is a lot. The very first words were the ones that actually helped tie it together for me. Was the light shines inside the earth.
The light enters the earth's center at night.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, enters the earth. That's just so poetically put.
Yeah.
So what I hear it saying is that the light is the center of it all. Yet we're always concerned about the darkening of the light. Well, dude, the center of everything starts with light. The light's already everywhere. That's the innocence that comes back in the movement when we move to 25 and 46. Or shall I say 46 and 25. So the crisis, again, is meant to just be the change instead of separate from it, you know? This is supposed to be it. Earth over fire. I'm not quite sure how to put that together, Moni.
So Earth is that pure feminine, pure yin, receptive energy that's receiving but also giving of all, like that like mother kind of energy. And then fire is about clarity and it's about like burning away.
Mm.
Like
So burning away that which covered our eyes to the fact that the light was already shining from the center out.
that's
That's how I
awesome.
read that.
I like that. I really love this. Darkness is simply part of a natural cycle. Like
Yeah, I
this.
mean, hello. It's
Like
dark
it,
right now. It's like midnight over here in Massachusetts. So, you know, you don't see me complaining.
yeah. It's just a nice thing to remember, you know, like because sometimes it's like that the darkness can get so scary or the crisis can seem so overwhelming and it just like it'll be okay. The sun will come out again. It's just on the other side of the earth right now. Like it's cool. Just
Promise.
just ride it
Promise.
out.
Not enduring. It's not enduring.
Hmm.
That's the thing. None of it is in that particular way. This tells us that. It's an incredible teacher to then be externalized out of gates 12 and 11, you know, in opposition to each other. Don't forget, gate 11 is where the larynx dropped. 85,000 years ago, give or take, our larynx physically dropped. And suddenly our articulation ability went through the roof. Because of that, language was born. It started there, and it's been moving on ever since.
So, tying it all together, what can we tell our audience? How can they play with this? How can they experience it? What to expect with the sun in gate 6 and the earth in gate 36?
If there's someone you've been thinking about for a long time, you've never reached out and you've always wanted to say something, go ahead and try it this week, you know. Just don't expect anything. And good luck with that. And if you get a little quandary afterwards, hit me up and I'll read your chart for you. It'll look really good.
That's
Take some
so funny.
again. You know what? We humans, we're clever creatures. Plus, we take chances. We find purpose in the chances and risks we take. Period. That's part of the formula. That's the formula of Gate 28. And you know that's a purpose in our life that we find. So take some chances. Basically, that's what I say. There's stuff in here you're going to find out through the sense of recognizing it's not quite a conflict. It's just this situation as opposed to some other situation. Now's the time to get lots of clarity on big things as it relates to what I just said. It's just this situation over that situation. It is not the end of the world. Your inexperience in it actually doesn't matter as much as you might think. You're going to do something with it one way or another. Wash it out of your life, bring it in further. We don't know, but you know, you will. It won't, your not knowing won't endure. So give it a try.
Interesting. I always love how yours is always like, do the thing, make it fun, see what happens. It's like a very like yang masculine kind of like reading of
It
it.
is a fallback position of mine, it
Oh
seems. It's
yeah.
a go-to.
Oh, it totally
Yeah,
is. Just like mine is on the flip. Whereas for me, I'm like, okay, so we're grounded in 36. So grounded in crisis or inexperience. So maybe what are the things that you're inexperienced in that you maybe want to experience? And finding
right.
that kind of clarity for then the sun to be with gate 6, like impact and like friction and who are you letting into your life? Maybe like consider what things are you inexperienced on that you want to experience and what are you willing to let into your life and being in the more like feminine, girly route. I'd also say be careful with jumping into something crazy or maybe letting the wrong person into your life. There's both sides.
Yeah.
There's the things of like when it's right, maybe try something new and also like be aware if you're jumping into something crazy or letting something not great into your life. So like, I don't know, balance that.
You know, as a transit, we won't experience the full breadth of this. It's going to
Yeah.
come and go. You
Yeah.
know, so
But
that's the
we
thing, because this is something to truly experience the full breadth of. You got to have a definition here, type thing, in defined centers, at least. Because of that, I think Moni's right. As the people, this will be also a helpful spot to see basically what conflicts now do you wish to not endure. You know, some things are meant to sweep themselves on out. in whatever way that works. For fourth line, it's a friendly enough way. If you're a third line, it might be a little bit of a tension there. You know what I mean? If you're sixth line, it'll just be transitional, right? If you're first line, there'll be thoughtfulness in that. If you're second line, no one will notice necessarily, and you'll just do it secretly. So, the covert action, either way, it's a good place to sweep people out, things out, essences out. This is the change agent. I know we don't have gate 35 in it, but it's all facing it. It's waiting to manifest through the act of change. That's what this transit's waiting to do. And you are grounded in that as it relates to 36 and Earth. So,
yeah. And my final thought is, hey, maybe be careful, extra careful driving. 6 and 36 are one of those gates when they come up. I'm like, people might be a little crazy on the road. They might be a little bit more tense, a little bit more friction and impact and crisis. So maybe let the crazy driver go around you and maybe hang out a little bit more in the right lane and just take it easy, be a little extra careful, because you might be riding these energies really well, but other people might be a little bit more razzled with them. So be cautious there.
my final thought on the whole thing is buy your wife some flowers.
Oh yeah, do that. That would be nice. And chocolate.
That was chocolate on top.
Always chocolate. Well, perfect. Thank you, Danny. Thank you to our audience. Thank you to everyone who's watching, liking, subscribing, hanging out with us, commenting, asking questions. It helps us out. And we love having you and having us, grow
Absolutely.
and be part of it. So thanks so much. And we will catch you next week for another transit.
Thanks so much, everyone. See you next time.